And of course, we have the Super Mario Galaxy movie, rated PG, an hour and 38 minutes. This is an animation and video game adaptation from Universal, Nintendo, and Illumination. This is directed by Aaron Horvath and Michael Jelenic. As a critic, I found reviewing films like the Super Mario Galaxy movie is a rather pointless endeavor. Much like the Marvel fanbase, people have no interest in hearing you criticize something that they love so deeply, even if it's a pile of garbage staring them in the face. I've realized that the audience has been trained in such a way that merely showing an image of a character well established in some other source material is enough for so much of the audience. They don't have to be well written or even well introduced, just as long as the image appears on screen. From Five Nights at Freddy's to Sonic the Hedgehog, these audiences just want to feel recognized and don't really seem to care if there is even a real movie or story surrounding their beloved characters. In the case of Mario Galaxy, the follow-up to the Super Mario Bros. Movie from 2023, whatever this sequel lacks in storytelling or artistry or basic structure, it makes up for in colorful entertainment. Without even a single second of character development, Mario Galaxy manages to string us along for the ride by simply never slowing down. Princess Rosalina, played by Brie Larson, has been kidnapped by Bowser Jr., played by Benny Safdie. Once Mario, Chris Pratt, and Luigi, Charlie Day, discover she's been taken, a desperate race ensues to save the princess, spanning the entire Nintendo universe. I am a unique social experiment here in the sense that I don't really have any deep-rooted connection to the Nintendo games. I didn't grow up playing them outside of the occasional party setting, and never really had any interest beyond the brief explanations my friends would offer me while choosing which characters to play as. So, could the Super Mario Galaxy movie actually appeal to someone who's never played the games? The answer is yes, although that doesn't mean I'm happy about it. Despite a vapid script that's only dialogue is plot-driven, the Mario Galaxy movie does manage to move at such a pace that it never felt boring. If I felt that way, I imagine audiences were hooked. In my sold-out screening, the well-trained audience seemed to already know every plot point before it happened. Due to online spoilers and discussion forums, any bit of surprise or intrigue is completely stripped from the experience in exchange for validating the audience's obsession with a character cameo who hasn't been seen for, the early 2000s. At the end of the film, no one left their seats because they have been told there is an end credits scene, which will act as the single most memorable part of the entire movie, because it serves as the trailer for the next film in the franchise, completely voiding the hour and a half you thought you were watching for. These Marvel-style commercial structures for films are destroying all of cinema. But hey, the audience is still paying, right? Why the audience doesn't demand an actual movie is beyond me. We know it can be done. I remember the Lego Movie. Branded content doesn't have to be the slow effort. But alas, Hollywood has managed to rework the old saying, so now it reads, if they're paying for it, no sense in fixing what's broken. To give the film some credit, the animation is well done. I happened to see this in 3D, something I don't often recommend. But since you're going to see this anyway, you might as well see it in 3D because they whip out all of the tricks. It is worth the 30% light loss if it means I can reach out and squeeze Luigi's huge balloon-shaped nose. Before I wrap up, I have to talk about the voice acting. While much of the cast is sufficient, with huge names like Donald Glover playing Yoshi, and mostly just squeaking and grunting his name, there was one performance that rocked me, and that was Jack Black as Bowser. In the first movie, Bowser was a more central character. Now, shrunken and no longer a threat, Bowser remains captive in his lair, his voice artificially pitched higher to make him sound small. It also makes Jack Black sound unrecognizable. So much so that when the credits rolled, I was genuinely shocked to see his name still voicing the character. To me, and I'm not one to throw this accusation out lightly, his entire performance sounds AI generated. While there is nothing to suggest this in news clippings or the credits, something feels extremely off. None of Jack Black's charisma seeps through. His voice is so digitally tweaked and manipulated that if it was real, it isn't by the time it makes it to screen. It is lifeless in a way that I just can't begin to explain, as is the rest of the film. Regardless, audiences are sure to love it. It will undoubtedly trounce this weekend's box office. All other movies be damned. They don't even have a shot. The Mario Galaxy movie is another studio creation made of Teflon, impervious to any criticism as long as it throws up a random character from the Nintendo universe every 10 to 15 minutes. It will never mean anything to anyone, and I imagine it will fade into forgotten obscurity soon after the mad rush to go see it first, because there is simply nothing here to hold on to. 2.5 stars.